So we should be on now. Alright, cool. Alright, so we'll just start pulling back on this. Alright, so like I say, we're at the saddle right now. So this is your last connection right here with the city main. And that's the main that we're looking at right now. So we'll start pulling back on it. Check it out. Because critical things to look out for is like this connection right here. Because this is, you know, this is still basically your part of the pipe. So actually it looks not too bad there on that Y. We'll start pulling back. So this is pretty common to see, you know, small root intrusions. I mean, obviously it's not causing a problem right now. Over time, I mean, it's probably just a slow growing root, you know, but depending on how the root is coming in and what type of root it is, over time it may, you know, cause an issue, but right now, I mean, you can see the pipe is open.
Then in the future, is hydrojetting something that would fix that?
Yeah, hydrojetting, you know, is basically the most effective way of cleaning the pipe. You know, so you remove all the roots, if there is any. You remove all the grease and the build-up and debris and stuff that's on the pipe. I mean, obviously it won't fix the problem, but it will buy you some time.
Sure. Is this material? What is the material here?
This pipe right now we're looking at is clay pipe.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's a small root coming through there, and that's a small crack in the pipe. Right in the bottom here, this split. This is a split in the pipe. You know, and then on this other side, you can see there's a root coming in.
Is that the top?
Well, yeah. This is the bottom of the pipe.
Okay.
So this is the top over here. So it's coming in pretty high on the side. You know, as we pull back, the camera will rotate. You know, so sometimes you're looking at it upside down.
Yeah, I see how to determine where we're at now.
So right here is underwater, and there's a big shift in this pipe right here. You see the lip on this pipe?
Right.
I mean, this should be a smooth transition like that.
So water stands there.
So you got standing water at that point. So there's definitely a shift in the pipe there.
Is that from a root or?
Well, more than likely, there's there's ground movement, you know, because we're on a hill.
Right.
So the hill's more than likely moving.
And that water never clears from that area.
Yeah, it's just a flat spot in the pipe. You know, it's probably over time it's just been shifting, so just level out. And plus, you know, back in the good old days when all of this stuff was put in, your toilets were flushing on a much higher capacity, so they could get away with making the pipe level if they have to. Yeah. Now we're finding a lot more problems, you know, with the lower flow toilets. They're just not pushing anything as far out the line. So it's pretty funny when they claim, oh yeah, we'll flush 150 feet. Yeah, sure. There's another shift. That's quite a decent shift because you can actually see the lip. You can see a good shift, you know, a good lip.
Yeah.
So this one is shifting also. See, we're starting to get some root here. This is a root mass right here. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, so I mean, it's taken up a large part of the pipe, and the way that it's coming through, obviously you can see this is the bottom of the pipe. You know, it's coming through on the side, but it's also pushing on this other side. So a lot of times the joints are made with concrete,
right,
which over time, you know,
erodes.
You get expansion and contraction of the soil at different times of the year, and I mean the roots, they just have to sense a little bit of moisture, and they're in the pipe, you know. Right. So this one's a pretty decent sized root. So let me take a picture of that one, just so we have an image of it. Alright, so that will just be I mean, obviously it'll be on the video itself, but we always take a still photograph of it as well. So this is still a route that's travelling along the bottom of the pipe here. Yeah, so there's quite a good route here, and this one is coming in 2 or 3 different spots. Yeah, you got it on both sides. Yeah, so this line definitely needs to be fixed because now it's closing over. There's some soap in there, which doesn't make it easy to see. Yeah, so that's a pretty significant root intrusion right there. Because this white, you get the white stuff's more as grease, and food oils and stuff like that.
Sure.
But if you see that it's darker, there's 2 different root systems coming in here, and one of them is what we call a creeper, which basically just creeps along the pipe. So this is what we're seeing right here. Is all of this kind of dense stuff right here.
Right.
This is just a regular creeper, but there's a lot of stuff going on in this area.
Let me take a still of that as well.
Yeah. And also it's kind of hard to make out here. This is a fracture in the pipe. This is a triangular fracture.
Okay.
Which is probably the worst kind of fracture that you can have, just because it's basically like a pressure fracture. So it's sheared at quite a tight angle.
Now, is that piece missing?
No, it's still there.
It's
yeah, and it's hard to get close to all of this, because it does go underwater there. You see if we can. Yeah, that's much better. Check that. Alright, so let's pull back. See, more than likely this pipe will change. This is 4-inch right here at the clean out. More than likely there's going to be a change back. This is between 4 and 6-inch pipe, because they generally will bring 6-inch up to the property line. But it may just be hard to determine where that is, until the pipe is actually cleaned. Because the rest of it back here is good so far. There's a little shift in that, but it's nothing. It's just a 22. And there's a tie-in right there for something. So there's probably another clean out somewhere buried. Because this is a connection right here. And this is the bottom of the pipe, so this one's straight up and down. So somewhere in this, over this area, there's going to be a, where they stopped the ABS pipe. Because now we're in the ABS pipe again. There's a little root coming through here on the top of that as well. So what I'll do is I'll grab my locator, and I'll push the camera back into those 2, where those bad root intrusions are, just so we know where they are. Because if the pipe was going to be repaired, then I would recommend doing it from back here, just to give you as much coverage as possible, or at least find out where that ABS pipe stops. Because right now we're pretty clear here. We're pretty close to the ABS right now.
This is probably standing water that we're pulling through still?
Well, they have water running inside
in
the house right now. Alright, so they were back out here. Okay, so let me just... some of them are a lot more aggressive the more you cut them.
Second time around.
Yeah. And because the hydrojet, because it's using high pressure jet nozzles that are rotating 360 degrees, you're cutting it back. It's almost like pruning. You're cutting it back so hard that it wants to grow much harder. Yeah, the pipe itself is not too bad. There is root intrusions, at several joints. And like this area right here has a flat spot for sure.
That's pretty deep.
Yeah. But yeah, it's pretty common to see, you know, flat spots. But yeah, this is by far the worst route right here. So you can see chunks of that are moving right now, so this one's a good one as well. Because this is the part that's got the break in it. Right up here. You know, it's cracked in a triangular shape, which is usually by excessive pressure, you know, on the outside.
Is that a branch?
Yeah, it's
Probably pressing on the other
a
side.
branch or like a main artery route that's pushing on it. You know, so you're just getting a lot of excessive pressure on the outside of the pipe pushing on it. Usually that's, you know, usually you've got, that will show you that there's really good soil compaction under the pipe.
Right.
And then you're getting pushed down, you know, from the top. So something's, you know, sitting on top of it. Probably one of the limbs off of one of the, you know, the main root arteries. So right here, this looks like where we changed to 6-inch. Yeah, so that's the 6-inch transition right here.
From 4 to 6?
Yeah. So we got to 6 there. So there's the 13 feet. 6 is a weird looking. And so what they got here, this is what you call a test Y. So when the house was built, at this point right here, the guys put a inflatable bladder down there and pumped it up and then filled all the drains up to check and make sure there's no leaks. You know, so the inspector will come by and he'll check and see that there's standing water in the pipe and he knows that it's good. So it looks like they replaced, you know, the ABS up to that point just in front of it. But right here, there is a root coming through on the ABS right here, and this is on the top of the pipe. So it looks like there's a little bit of separation on this joint. The ABS pipe has what we call solvent well joints, which are basically glued together, and there may be a slight separation in here because you shouldn't have this gap right here. Right here. Yeah. So there's a separation in the ABS pipe as well, and that's right in that area where that root is coming in. We're getting pretty close to the end of it.
What do you approximate a job like this runs?
Just
ballpark, I won't hold you to it.
Probably looking somewhere. I'm going to look back up here. Get to the back, see. Let me just stop that. So this is going back up towards the house. There we go. Now we're going back out there.
Find a hidden treasure?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there is a route back there as well. So right now it doesn't look like it's going to pass. More than likely there's a lip Yeah, there's a lip in the cast iron pipe right here. So wherever the ABS pipe was connected,
There's something
on the
through
back
that
here, there's cast iron coming out,
Mhm.
and then they cut it, connected the ABS, put this clean out in and replaced that piece back, but there's a pretty significant lip in that pipe right there, and a root as well, so. Jump past it. I may not go past it. Yeah, so there's definitely a root there as well. So I think it's going to go back there. I don't think I can get it to jump over there. It's such a short distance. So that's going to be right in this area right here. You want to take a look at your sewer?
What?
You want to take a look at it?
Yeah, well, they've done it when we bought the house. And they did the hydro jetting.
Alright, so this is us going back out towards the street. I need to be quick because my camera, the battery's about to expire. So once you get further out, down closer towards the street, there's quite a few root intrusions in the pipe, in the clay pipe. Right, so this is starting to get into the roots right here. So this is all out in the parkway right next to the tree before it goes out to the street. So this is all roots that we're looking at right now. And then this is another one. And this is out about 4 feet out into the street. You see it's taking up, quite a good chunk of the pipe. And this is the end of it. Alright, cool.
That's the chute to the city.
Back we count.
Was the break by the big root, the fracture part?
That was by the one that's on this side of it, on the one that's closer. That's
Okay.
right at the curb.
Right.
That's where the fracture is. And the larger roots in front of that on the street side.